Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan, and as you can see on screen, I've been able to play the new Total War game, Total War Pharaoh. And I want to discuss a few things. I want to be showcasing off a siege battle where we're the defenders. Before anything, this is a very alpha build, so I imagine, or at least I hope, that things will get a little bit better when the final game comes out, you know, when the build is complete. I'm not criticizing the game, it's more the fact that it looks like we're on an IGN build or something, because, yeah, it's pretty easy, even for a siege battle, which, in theory, we should be very mid to, or even close to losing. But yeah, what we can see here is a rather large siege map. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the standard layout that we're going to see for loads of sieges, as we have been seeing a lot of that for loads of Total War games, well, mostly Warhammer 3, but it's big, it's very, very impressive. We're playing as the defenders. There are no buildables here, no buildable towers, no stuff like that. It's literally just 3 control points, which we do need to protect, but it's not as quick as Warhammer that you'll lose within like 20 seconds. Now, the city is gorgeous, I will admit. The map is fantastic. I love what I see so far. We do have a pretty decent style army for us, and the enemies are the sea peoples. I'm just going to be showcasing a few of those units up close and personal. Yes, the wall issue still not fixed, so your unit will half face that way and half face the other side, which is kind of annoying. You'd think after so many games that that would be fixed. But the sea peoples are coming in with armies. This looks like it's the set formation. The AI will not randomly move their forces. Again, IGN build, I imagine. I really do wish that they had 2 separate builds, or at least a difficulty modifier for these types of builds, because it would be a lot cooler. The sea peoples are coming with 4 different groups, a lot of siege weaponry. It's a short battle, as you can tell. It's about 11 minutes long. I'm not sure if I'm going to be implementing the other ones into this video, or we'll talk about that in something else. But yeah, they've got a lot of range. It's more the case that I have a decent amount of range and I'm able to fire back. Towers will not be shooting too far, so they'll actually get close. That's not a bad thing. It means that you're not going to be able to shoot them from the very beginning as they're waiting for reinforcements. So at least that's a nice change here, which is definitely going to make the attackers a little bit more dangerous if they can attack you from far. We don't know if they have access to any siege weaponry, barring towers. Siege ladders, yes, butt ladders are gone. These are proper siege ladders now. And finally, the battering ram. I'm not sure, but I'm imagining there should be some sort of primitive style of artillery. If not, then you'll just be charging your forces in to die. If you're dealing with a range-heavy army, they're going to be shooting you from afar, and they can do it quite well. So, yeah, let me talk about some general stuff. Battle maps look good, I can admit, even though it's only been 3 battles. We only had access to 3 different maps, 2 land battles and 1 siege map. But yeah, the only thing is I do find the lens flare annoying. I don't know why developers want to add that in. It's kind of frustrating. I'm a big fan of the fact that we don't have the siege ladders anymore in terms of butt ladders, and they're actually a siege equipment. Even then, they're pretty slow, so it does take a while to actually get somewhere. Now, I do want to talk about the fact that there are control points. I'm not keen on that, mostly because they provide bonuses. One provides healing, which I find super weird. This is supposed to be a historical game, and yeah, I mean, going to a temple, it's not going to heal me in real life. It's not going to heal you here in a battlefield. But I think they did solve a lot of the issues that Warhammer 3 has in terms of sieges. No too many control points, no building, which was just absolutely annoying. So I'm glad to see that gone, even though it's not fully gone. I think my big issue with these types of things is preset battles are never really representative of what we'll get in the game, as I restarted this battle a few times, and it was the same result over and over. I wasn't really getting too many differences in terms of troops moving around. They were just charging into death. Yeah, again, early build, alpha build, they have to do a set showcase, but I feel like a proper battle build, like when we do DLC launches for Warhammer, would probably be a bit better, just with some units that aren't able to be used for any reason here and there, you know, just blank them out. And what happens is that in these types of battles, you're not really going to be able to see what the unit does. Even in the other land battles, which I might do a video on, I'm not too sure just yet, the battles were very, very fast, and unfortunately that meant that you couldn't really get too much of a feel. Slow motion works quite well to see everything, but as you can see, the troops are basically just trying to get to the walls as fast as possible, which understandably so, but a lot of the units are already routing as it stands. So by the time that they actually got to the wall, a lot of them were already dead. So yeah, you don't really get too much of an actual battlefield here. There should have been more sea peoples. There should have been a lot more. It should have been an overwhelming fight, even close to losing. I feel like even if people such as myself and other content creators who are big fans of the series would have lost it by overwhelming majority, it would have still been better than just going, oh yeah, look, they climbed, they died, some of them didn't even get to the wall. Yeah. I'm trying not to be as negative as possible because yes, the map is cool and the units are quite interesting, but it's only so much that I can talk about when it comes to a generalist build. I will say that seeing the siege ladders actually get to the wall and work correctly is great, mostly because we've seen issues with the basic stuff with just basic ladders, so it's cool to see that. You can see that the units are just getting ready and they're starting to charge up. They will suffer a bit in terms of AI. I don't know if it's always, but I've noticed that sometimes units will just kind of blank out before trying to climb up. And they will climb up relatively fast, which means that ladders are actually viable here. I don't know how much, vigor they lose from that, but we're going to have to wait and see. They can be destroyed too. I have noticed that, for example, we can set them on fire. And sometimes you can set them on fire when they're actually attached to the wall. I'm not sure if that's intended or not. I hope so, because that means that if you can plan with fire arrows, which, by the way, the fire arrows were the enemy causing damage to themselves, which is something that needs to be worked on a little bit. But yeah, they set their own siege equipment on fire, which made the fight even easier for me. Gridlocking in front of a gate is more than viable if you've got a good front line, because they'll charge in if that's the only way that they can get in. And yeah, you put a high tier unit there that's able to hold down, and you're pretty much golden. I've had no issues with that. It's nice to see that again, because we were able to do that in Medieval 2. You could have a very strong unit guarding your front line, as it's an area that they're not going to get shot at much and so on. So I'm quite happy to see that. I'm still very much in the whole, this is a very early build. It doesn't really show us what the game is going to represent by the time it gets closer to launch. The launch is what, October? So I think it should be fine. Stat balancing is definitely something that needs to be done. There will be a video, I think, revolving around stats for the early units. AI desperately does need a little bit of help. However, again, I'm not sure if it's this because it's an early build or it's because it was a set battle, as both are definitely factors when it comes to this. It's one of these things where I'm excited because I like what I'm seeing visually. Visually, it's great. We've got a lot of really cool additions to battles and so on. We do have a lot of really interesting things coming in. The dynamic weather system, for example, is pretty interesting, even though I've only been able to see it in 2 different battles. Well, 3, because it does get sweltering here. You can obviously see, for example, later on in this video, buildings within this settlement will be set on fire by the enemy, which I think is absolutely fantastic, because it's an invading force. These are the sea peoples coming, and they're going to want to do as much damage to you as they can, including destroying your infrastructure, right? Unit animations are good. I know that might not mean a lot to people, but it's definitely something which is immersion. You can see, obviously, settlement destruction does have an effect on you. Early on, it doesn't really do anything, but as they start breaking more and more buildings, they will actually get the benefit for you, which I really wish they would also give us a 4th battle. I really wished that they gave us one that we're their attacking force, because I feel like that would have been a great way to test it out and see how this would work from an attacker's point of view, as obviously it's something that a lot of people would love to know. Finally, I'm going to stand by what I've said when the game got announced and what I'm going to be saying in videos here. It's going to be a while until we start seeing what the final build is. Everything that you're seeing here is obviously alpha. If you want to pre-order and so on, I would say wait until they start to show campaign. Wait until people can say stuff when they've had a full build, and that way you'll be able to see and hear more informed decisions than this. There's only so much I can say about a battle which I really was going to win regardless. I'm pretty sure even someone new at Total War would win this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the rest of the battle play out. There's not too much time left. You can hear the game, hear the music a little bit better, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion.
I cannot keep fighting!